Hey guys, so the February stats are out for the Toronto Real Estate Board, and we're going to cover all the different things that happened. This month is very interesting for sure. If you're a buyer, seller, investor in the marketplace and you're interested in what's going on, you definitely don't want to miss this video because February was super interesting. Hey guys, this is Danilo from the King Realty Group. We help first-time home buyers, investors, and sellers in our marketplace, and we're experts in guiding you, making sure that you're making the best decisions for you and your family. We've helped hundreds of people move in and out of the GTA, and I know that we can give you some guidance going forward. Now, in this video, we're actually going to cover February 2023 Toronto Real Estate Board stats, how we compare to last month, how we compare to last year, and also giving you some pointers if you're in the marketplace as a buyer, seller, investor to make sure that you're making the best decision. So let's get into it, guys. The first thing we look at is our dot graph. It gives us a really good visual as to what's been going on over the last couple months and comparisons actually into the years past. So let's take a look at that right now. Okay, so we're looking at our dot graph now, and this gives us a great visual. It shows us all the way back to 2018, and you see that, this is how the market goes here in the GTA. We have ups and downs along the way. And over the last couple of years, though, we've had a pretty crazy run up in price, and you can see it depicted here visually. Kind of peaking last year, February 2022, we had a really high increase in price. And since then, we had several drops in price, in some cases up to 30%, depending on where you live. And then we kind of balanced out a bit, and towards the end of the year, we had a couple months of drops as well. But that's normal. Obviously, going into a holiday season, activity typically just drops naturally, and that does sometimes impact pricing a bit, just in those few months towards the end of the year. But January to February, though, that's a very interesting little pop there. Actually, interesting to see that we're kind of in line here with where we were before the pandemic and before this big run up over here that you see. It's almost like we cut that out completely and we just kind of continued along where we were before. It's going to be very interesting to see where we head into the next couple months, because this month over month change is pretty significant, and it popped us right back into where we were just before the holiday season 2022. So that's a really interesting graph to take a look at, right? It gives us a really nice visual, and the change from January to February is very interesting. We're going to pop into our month-to-month changes to see in more detail what that actually looks like. All right, so here are our month-over-month changes. February compared to last month, January 2023. Pretty significant. We doubled up on a lot of things, even more than doubled in sales. Let's take a look. So detached homes, we had 2,075 sales, 1,439,735 on average price. Look at the change in month over month though, about 50% increase in sales from last month. We doubled up in sales, and our month over month price point is actually up 7.29% from last month. Detached homes, I don't know, there must have been like some multi-million-dollar home sales in the month of February, I guess, to represent that big of an increase, but it happened. Semi-detaches, we had 399 sales, 1,069,266 average price. Increases as well here month over month, 66% increase in sales from last month, and just under 5% at 4.86 in the average price. That's a pretty significant change, I would say. Townhomes, we had 821 sales, and the average price at 934,834. 64% increase in sales, and over 5% here at 5.32 in a change on a month-to-month average price as well. Condos have been pretty resilient over the last 2 years, I would say. However, as of the last couple months, I've noticed that there's a bit of an increase in inventory and there's more selection for buyers. It's been one of those property types that I would say has pretty good opportunity right now. Looking to get into a condo, this could be one of the better prices that you're going to be paying, likely for a while. So definitely look into that one. You can see it here in the numbers as well. We had 1,455 sales, and the average price is 705,472. Sales are higher than last year, just like everyone else, but only by 53%. And the average price was the lowest increase out of all the property types at 2.58%. So that's interesting to note. When we combine all of them, all property types, the average price was 1,095,617, and it represents almost 5.5%, 5.48% increase from last month. That I would say is pretty significant, especially since in the past, let's see if we can see here, we've pretty much had some declines, right? 2%, 1%, 1%, less than a percent increase, right? Actually, the last significant move in any direction was in July when we dropped 6%. But it seems like, things are changing a little bit now. So yeah, that's what we're seeing month to month. So very interesting, right? We saw it in the visual dot graph at the beginning, that little pop, and then we see it on our month-to-month numbers. Significant. I would say, sales over 50%, that's a big jump. And then in some cases, even over 5% on a month-to-month average price point change. That's pretty good too, I would say. So let's see if this continues into the next few months. Springtime typically is a more of an active market, but we're in, different times right now. So I guess we're gonna have to see how it goes. Let's take a look at our year-to-year numbers. Okay, so here are our year-over-year changes in our numbers. Sales is first up. We have 4,783 sales. We saw that was a big increase from January, but a pretty significant decrease from February of last year. So we know that, right? Last year, super active month, a lot of sales, everything was going up in price. Very different from this year. Average price, same thing here, quite a drop. But I would say that the February increase from January definitely helped here. I actually thought the differences would be a lot larger, like the decline from last year. 1,095,617 is our average price this month, and we're down from 1,334,062 from last year. That's a really big difference. I thought it would be worse though, but hey, February surprised us here, did much better than January, and so it wasn't as bad. Here are our year-over-year numbers. Sales down 47% from last year. I've noticed over the last few months this trend though. We've been about half of sales for a little while now, and this is no different. We'll see. I mean, we've had a jump in sales from last month. Let's see if that continues. Actually, one thing that I wanted to share with you guys before we continue is a comparison between the slowdown that we're experiencing now and the slowdown that we got in 2017. If anybody was in the market or kind of knew that moment, we actually did have a whole entire year of declined prices after we had 2016, 2017 run up in price, similar to what we experienced last year in terms of multiple offers. It might have even been crazier in some cases during that time. So the comparison is this, we're down 44% compared to that other moment in 2017. From their peak sales month, they actually only dropped 32%. So at this point, this slowdown is more significant than the last one, and we're still in it. So that's a very interesting note. Okay, so let's continue with our year over year. Okay, so another point here, active listings are up 38% from last year. Yes, we do have more inventory. Remember last year we had not much in the market and everything was going up significantly in price. Not the case here. And just another note here when it comes to active listings, we're still 26% down from the 20-year average. So despite us having almost 40% increase in active listings from last year, we're still quite a bit down from our 20-year average. So our inventory is still kind of low. This is why in some micro markets, there are multiple offers right now. And if you're looking for a specific thing in a certain pocket and it doesn't exist, that's possible right now too. Our next point here, 17.9% drop in average price. There's other elements to the marketplace that are kind of buoying us up, I would say. But yeah, 17.9% drop in average price from last year. We knew this number was going to be big. I thought it was going to be bigger, but February, at least compared to January, it did pretty well. On the days on the market, up a lot. Double. And yeah, we're seeing that. So there are properties on the market over 30 days, many properties. And that sometimes is just the marketing. Sometimes it's just people hoping for a price that doesn't exist anymore. They're just sitting. But good properties are still selling within sometimes 2 weeks. We had a condo up for sale recently and it sold in 3 days. So those stories are happening, and I'm hearing it in the office, getting prices that they would have not expected, so hey, you can take that for what it is, but it's kind of happening at the moment. Still though, you'll see some properties that are on the market for quite some time. So those are our year-over-year numbers. Okay, so one other point that I wanted to make, guys, is that yes, we are down quite a bit from last year, 17.9%. However, comparatively, our prices are actually still 24% higher than they were in 2020. Pretty much was just before the pandemic. So we're up 24% higher than price points just before the pandemic, despite being down almost like 18% from last year. So we went up quite a bit, guys. We went up quite a bit since 2020, and we've come down. Our prices are still maintained, at a level that's higher than they were in previous years. So just wanted to make that point. Big story of the last little while here is interest rates. The Bank of Canada decided not to make any changes this month. It was kind of anticipated. They did say that they probably wouldn't increase it, and they didn't. But the door is wide open for it to still continue to increase. CPI, unemployment numbers. There's other factors that impact inflation, and inflation is the key thing that they want to drop, and the reason why interest rates were increased anyways. So if other factors do impact inflation negatively, meaning it continues to go up or maintain, which a lot of people think could happen, hey, the door's open to increase the interest rates into the future as well. Having said that, on the flip side, many people are not really going to variable rates right now. They're going to fixed rates, maybe 2-3 year fixed rates. Some of them are around 5%, just a little bit higher than that. And there could even be some promos for insured mortgages under 5%. I'm pretty sure that exists at the moment too. So there are options, and people are really going to those fixed on short terms. The bet is that in 2 to 3 years, we'll actually have a lower interest rate. And yeah, that means that if you buy into a property today, in a few years from now, you might actually have a lower payment than you do today too. Okay, so that's what's going on with interest rates. And we got some tips for you guys if you're a buyer, seller, investor in the marketplace. Definitely pay attention to these ones. They're specific to you. So as a buyer, the interest rate thing, right? I mean, it's a temporary thing that we're in. It's more stability in the marketplace now. Before it was just going higher and higher and higher for like basically a year. And you didn't know where it was going to stop, so everyone was worried about that, right? But it has stopped now, and actually fixed rates have become a little bit lower and more attractive. And there's a bit of a strategy to this now, right? Short terms, 2-3 year terms, and then you kind of see in a few years from now, the likelihood of you having a lower payment is a possibility. It exists, which is good. And you're buying things for at least from last year. You see that our average price is 18% down. I can tell you that in some markets it's 30% down, even more than that. Toronto has been really resilient. It didn't really go up that much, didn't really drop that much, but the cities around this Toronto went up a lot, and they've actually come down a lot. So there's price points that didn't exist before that are here today, and we know that those areas, those neighborhoods, have a ceiling, a price ceiling that is much higher than what you're paying for today. And the likelihood of that price reaching where it was in not too long ago, a year ago, exists, and it's possible. I mean, we've seen this before. I mentioned earlier in the video about 2017, 2016. People bought prices at that peak. Prices went down for an entire year. And after some time, the prices reached back to where those levels were and beyond. And at this point, we're beyond those prices again. So the story hasn't happened, and the recurrence of it is we're cyclical markets, right? It's possible, 1000%. GTA has a lot of growth coming its way. So right now, I love the fact that you can get it in for a much cheaper price. And if you can manage the high interest rate payments right now, chances are that in a couple of years from now, you're actually going to have a lower payment, and you bought for a much cheaper price. Okay, and equity buildup and appreciation over time is still likely to exist. And many people are buying homes for 3 to 5 years or more. And if you're on the second, third home or something like that, maybe even longer. Okay, so a lot of good stuff for the buyers. Go against the grain. I know some people are doubtful about what's going on because of all the uncertainty, and they still have uncertainty. I'm a lot more certain about the buyer right now than I've been for a while. Okay, so get in touch, guys, if you have a situation that you need some help with, and you want to know if you're in the right position to do this. You might likely be there. As a seller, we need to be really careful, okay? Right now, there's an opportunity. There's more demand, and in certain pockets, you're getting sometimes even multiple offers, all depending on what's going on. However, you still have competition. It's not like there's no one on the marketplace there. You're gonna have a few other properties maybe in the area, and you need to market yourself. You need to do everything. You need to do the staging, the video. You need to make the property look beautiful so it's much nicer than the other ones, and that's what's gonna get you the multiple offers. And having said that, guys, don't confuse what I'm saying. The GTA is big, and not everywhere it has multiple offers. There's some pockets where you're going to be sitting on the market a bit, and you won't use that strategy because it doesn't make sense. Okay, and if that's the case, you can still have a successful sale. You still need to market properly and stage and do all those little things that some people do for you, but a lot of people don't do for you. We do those things for you, and that's what ensures that we get the best price that we can, and we're consistent on that. And so yeah, if you're kind of interested in that, maybe you're a seller that hasn't ever done it before, you don't even know where to start, this is where you start, right? We'll let you know, hey, what's the average price in your little pocket with a property that looks very similar to yours, to have a really clear idea. And okay, well, what strategies have worked here? This is probably now, after all the research, what our analysis tells us is probably the best bet to get you the most price that you can get. Okay, and this is what we do for you guys. All right, so you got to differentiate yourself. Right now, there's a moment where there's higher demand. So if you're looking for that better price, you saw that from January and February, we popped 5%. You can be part of that. Sooner rather than later, not sure if this is going to continue into the future. Interest rates will remain high for the rest of the year, so that could impact this demand that we're seeing right now. Okay. As an investor, very similar to the buyer, you're gonna be able to buy properties for much cheaper. I got a bungalow in St. Catharines under $500,000 not too long ago. Great property, definitely set up for a duplex. And despite having 5 or 6% rates at the moment, you can still make $400, $500 in certain properties that you can convert into an investment. Okay, our favorite's always been, getting a bungalow with 2 units, separate entrance, and we have a complete team for that. Like, we look for the right properties, have all the minimum requirements for the city. If we're looking to do a legal duplex or a legal basement, for example, all that sort of stuff. Been there, done that. Okay, and the opportunity is amazing. Just like the buyer, you go against the grain here. You don't see a lot of people kind of jumping in right now. If you're open to a fixer upper, you will get a deal, and it's going to do well into the future. Once interest rates drop, that $400, $500 can be closer to $1,000 or more. On a cash flow basis, month to month, $12,000 a month. That would be nice, right? And we can set it up for you guys. So again, if you're looking to make a purchase, you're looking to sell property, or looking into an investment, I'd love to share this information with you guys. Everyone's in a different situation, and not everything is applicable, but I know that we've done it before, we've been there, and so this is where we can help you out with that. Make sure you're looking and clicking on the buttons below, guys. We have booking tools there. Quick 15-minute call with me can make all the difference in terms of all the confusion you may have, and a lot of things that you read online. Very quickly, I'll let you know kind of a good idea of what we should probably be doing, or at least how to start. Okay. Again, guys, I appreciate your time. Danilo here from King Realty. Make sure you're subscribing, guys, and not missing the video content that we have coming up. Okay. Any questions? Definitely leave it in the comments. I look at those. I will respond. Okay. Have a good day. Take care.